Good morning and welcome to another academic English class. We'll get started in a minute once students arrive in the class. Hello, Saku.
Hi teacher, how are you?
Very well, thanks. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I'm sorry?
I'm doing great.
Excellent, excellent. Where are you from?
I'm from Vietnam.
Ah, well, good evening then.
Okay.
Luis, good morning.
Good morning, Simon. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Could
Are
you
you?
sleep? Could you
Sorry?
sleep this night? Could you sleep this night?
Yeah, I didn't sleep as much as I wanted to, but it was better than it could have been.
Oh, excuse me, Simon. I'm seeing my friend Sakutara here.
Okay, I
Sakutara
know
is
it. I know
from.
it. I think
Hi, Sakutara.
we know each
How are you?
other. Okay. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
Thank you. Nice to see you here.
So you guys know each other?
See you
Yes,
from
I
Colingo.
think we know each other and know you. You are a teacher on Colingo, and
Yes, I was.
we are student on Colingo.
That's right. Yeah, they went out of business, I think, about a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome both of you, and welcome back, Anton.
Hello, teacher. How do you do?
I'm doing okay, guys. What I'm going to do today is same thing we did yesterday. I'm going to share out my Google Drive so that way we can read a news story. This is a technology news story. So go to Google Drive and click on Hangout Notes. And that'll bring you to this article. All right, so Google Drive is right here. Click on Google Drive and then Hangout Notes.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson. What I do in academic English is I pick a news story. We take turns reading it. I will help you with pronunciation, but that's not the major focus of the class. The major focus is on comprehension. I want to make sure you guys understand what we're reading. Okay, so it's very important to listen to what others are reading and what you are reading. And then at the end, we'll have a discussion. Okay, so don't forget, focus on what's being said here. Anton, could you read the first paragraph and the title, please?
Okay. Let me see. Okay. Twitter's in trouble. Here's how it can avoid becoming the next AOL. A few. Sorry. Let me scroll. A few weeks ago, Twitter shares plummeted and wiped out some than $4 billion in market value. As insider and early investor started to sell the company stock after the 6-month lockup period expired. On June 5, Twitter VP Luca Barabra sold over 1,000 shares. Cashing out by the people who understand Twitter's prospects best is an ominous sign for the company and adds to the very long list of concerns about its future. Twitter has already lost more than half its market value, a staggering uh, uh, 30, of 18 billion dollars since since late December. Users are abandoning the service. Growth has been stagnant, and social media pundits wonder if Twitter is heading toward irrelevance.
Okay, thank you. Let me hear you say wonder.
Wonder,
Half,
have,
has,
has,
ominous,
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 ominous, ominous,
abandoning,
abandoning,
6 month,
6 month,
6 month,
6 month,
early,
early,
more than.
more than.
Excellent. All right, Luis, could you please read the next paragraph?
Like Milk Online, which soared across the internet landscape before becoming an afterthought, Twitter had a game-changing impact when it arrived on the social media scene, but barring a quick turnaround or incredible success in emerging markets like India, Twitter's star seems to be fading fast.
Well done, sir. Well done. Afterthought.
Afterthought.
Yeah, and you said it correctly the second time, so um, well done. Your ed suffix words are doing much better. Continuing to see improvement there.
Okay.
Saku, could you read the next paragraph, please?
Okay. The rise and fall. In my research, I found that Twitter owes its popularity to incessant free advertising on mass media. In 2008, CNN became the first major news outlet to integrate Twitter into its programming and featured a ticket of tweets across the screen. This triggered no, an uptick in Twitter's popularity when the horrific terrorist attack in Mumbai took place in November 2008. Users flooded the site with updates, including details about casual casualties and other crucial information, demonstrating that use on Twitter could report crucial information faster than reporters. You mute yourself, teacher. We can hear you.
That users.
Okay. That users.
That
That
users.
users.
About.
About
About. Casualties.
casualties.
Users.
Users.
Horrific.
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 Horrific. Yeah. Terrorist.
Terrorist
Attack.
attack.
This triggered an uptick.
This triggered an uptick.
This triggered an uptick.
This triggered an uptick.
Ticker.
Ticker.
Excellent, thank you. All right, Anton, you're next.
Where can I start?
You're the next paragraph after
Local.
Saku.
Okay. Local and national media leaped on board wanting to boast about their relationship with Twitter. Follow us on Twitter has become an ubiquitous key, catchphrase for every media outlet, giving us the impression that Twitter is incredibly popular, far more than it actually is. Numerous celebrities, starting with Ashton Kutcher, gave Twitter additional boost by becoming power users.
Actually.
Actually,
Ubiquitous.
ubiquitous,
Ubiquitous.
ubiquitous,
Wanting.
wanting.
Excellent. Luis, next paragraph, please.
But Twitter's popularity with the media and celebrities has become one of the key sources of the site's current troubles. By now, just about every organization that wants to have its voice heard is on Twitter, resulting in a cacophony of noise that does not add up to much. Facebook had that same problem, but it worked really hard to develop a better way of figuring out what users find relevant in the newsfeed. But Twitter has not done that. So now, when you go on Twitter, all you see is a mishmash of commentaries that most users do not really care about. The onus is on you to curate who you follow.
Curate.
Curate, curate,
Curate.
curate.
Relevant.
Relevant.
Cacophony.
Cacophony.
Troubles.
Troubles.
Thank you. All right, Saku, could you read the next paragraph, please?
Twitter's um, inability to improve to provide an effective search function that would allow users to search for relevant tweets has added to the disillusion tied up on this barrage of badly targeted information, and knowing that similar information can be found elsewhere on the web, users leave never to be seen again.
Users.
Users,
Tweets.
tweets,
Disillusion.
dissolution,
Barrage.
barrage,
Barrage.
barrage,
Badly targeted.
badly targeted,
Badly.
badly.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right. Alexandra, if you could read the next paragraph, who just snuck into class.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
What's more, we have become accustomed to being passive recipients of information from media and celebrities, so we do not even think to produce content ourselves on Twitter. In addition, most of us are gun shy about what to say when the entire world is watching, so we end up just keeping quiet. The difficulty of saying anything meaningful in 140 characters makes the matter only worse.
Well done. Thank you. All right, Anton, next paragraph, please.
Data collected on Twitter bear out just how big the problem is. The median number of tweets is one thing, hello world, and tweeting is concentrated in a small number of producers. The top 10% of users produce 90% of the content, and compared to 10% of users producing 40% of the content of Facebook. So, unlike Facebook, where we keep coming back day in a day out to share photos, live events, opinions, and yes, cute cat videos with our friends, our family. On Twitter, that behavior is absent, and those of us who try our luck and tweet quickly realize that what we just shared goes unseen or unnoticed in the ocean of noise. Soon after, Twitter lost its appeal to its users.
Loses.
Loses.
Those.
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 Concentrated.
Concentrated.
Don't forget the TH sound, very important. In English, it's not an option. Later this week, I have a pronunciation class on the TH sound. Take a look at my class schedule on my teacher page for your local time. All right.
Mhm.
Let's see. Saku, could you read the next paragraph, please?
Okay. So when we think of Twitter, we see that the brand is visible and the bird logo ubiquitous. but the product, um, but the product is not attractive to many people, and the main source of traffic to the site. Other media outlets are not bringing Twitter enough new users. Can Twitter save itself before it's too late? In my view, the company has two options: find new sources of traffic or evolve the
Product.
product,
Product.
product,
Ubiquitous.
ubiquitous,
Ubiquitous.
ubiquitous,
Better. Twitter.
Twitter,
Twitter.
Twitter.
Thank you. Luis, I haven't forgotten about you. I just wanted you to get a bigger paragraph this time. Go ahead and read, please.
Finding new traffic sources in the US will be tricky. The US market is saturated and growth opportunities are nearly exhausted. If I were Twitter, I would go after India, which has over 250 million users, but only 30 million of them currently use Twitter. Getting media attention in India would get Twitter many valuable users, but the company has to move fast. The media there has opted for the faster, more mobile-friendly messaging service WhatsApp, which has nearly double the number of users as Twitter, and which Facebook recently snapped up for the hefty 19 billion.
Okay. Media.
Media.
Getting media attention in India would get Twitter many valuable users.
Getting media attention in India would get Twitter many valuable users.
Twitter.
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 India.
India.
The US market.
The US market.
Finding.
Finding.
Excellent. All right, next paragraph. Simon. Okay, here we go. The other option is to focus on what Twitter does best. With 250 million users, Twitter's management has grown complacent and has essentially ignored the reason that early users experienced that Twitter moment. The connection between strangers when someone posts a tweet and unexpectedly receives a positive response. This is when users fell in love with Twitter and became evangelists for the service. But unlike AOL, which rested on its early laurels and then shrank into internet irrelevance, Twitter's inability to enhance that Twitter moment has triggered its decline. It may not be too late to catch a new wave of users, but the window of opportunity is closing quickly. All right, guys, we've got 40 minutes to discuss this type of content and technology in general. So you know what comes next. I type, what was this story about? And this is where I want you to type some points. Okay, so tell me what this story is about by writing out some points, and then of course I'll call on you to discuss further. So at the bottom of the story, you'll see a title that says, what was this story about? Or you could even say, what is this story about? So only Luis is writing. I expect to see others writing. Come on, guys. Yes, there is writing involved in this class. Great. I see Saku getting ready to write. And I know Alexandra was late, so she's probably reading right now. I'll give you guys another minute. Come on, I want to see more than just Luis writing.
Oh.
All right, Luis. Thank you for being the first to write. What is this story about?
Actually, is the article told us about the strong fall that the Twitter is having on the internet and even on the markets, because the value of the company value is decreasing on the stock
Value is
market.
decreasing, yeah.
And Twitter is losing many users. 10% of the users is responsible for create 90% of the content into the Twitter. So the people is not reading what has been posting on Twitter, and is the great disinteresting about this social network. And so Twitter has a big chance to be the next American Online.
Has America Online gone out of business?
I've never heard about American Online here in Brazil. It still exists, American Online?
Yes, they do.
Not in Brazil anymore.
Well, in a way it does, because it's primarily an internet-based company, so anywhere you have access to the internet, you would have access to America
Yes,
Online.
I remember that.
Yeah. So interesting. Okay, let's see. Who else has been writing here? We have Alexandra. Alexandra, tell us more.
I didn't get into detail. I just figured that this article considers the reasons for the decreasing popularity of Twitter and ways to revive it.
Okay, and what are those ways to revive it?
Maybe the ways are to find new sources of traffic, maybe to change the target audience, and the offer offers them to apply to India, to the Indian users. And another way is to evolve the product.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anton, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I was finishing my testing. Uh, the title is clear because it's announcing the whole uh, uh, sense of
Context?
contest. Okay, contest of the writing. Uh, Twitter is at risk. At risk.
Mhm.
Why is at risk? The fast pace of the modern living and the modern communication is producing quick change in the customs of the clients, and you can find a quick rise, but the situation could be in a plate horizon, and probably it could be in a crisis. And they have to decide how to manage the future, trying to avoid the massive evasion of clients. Because there are other options, and clients are with many different options in the market, especially in communications. And this research, this study, or this reflection of the person who writes is trying to explain how is the decision they have to make. They have two options. The first one is change the product, change the option the clients have in the product, or attack a new markets like India, who has a good evolution or a good provision of evolution. And in this way, I think it's all the best.
Okay, good. Do you have a Twitter account?
Yes, but it really I don't use it a lot.
What about you, Luis?
Yes, I have one, but there is so long. I don't get into the Twitter.
Yeah, what about you, Anton? Do you have a Twitter account and do you use it?
Yeah, no, I don't use a lot. It's only a requirement to find especially to find a job or for business. When you write a letter or uh, you ask some person, and you have to 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 to, uh, to apport some place in which they can reach you, and one of them could be the Twitter account. But for me, it's not useful at all.
Okay, what about you and Alexandra or Sasha?
I must confess, I have a vague impression of what Twitter is. I've
Well,
never used it. Well, I think I barely know what it is. I have some impression about it, but not definite.
well,
I
there you
even
go,
don't know.
guys. People from Russia, Brazil, South America, Asia, and North America just don't use Twitter anymore. Well, a small sample of us. Luis, would you care to explain to Sasha what Twitter is and why we don't use it?
Sasha. Who is Sasha?
This is me.
Who is Sasha? Alexandra. Alexandra.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's me.
Okay, sorry. Twitter is a kind of social network that I guess they create the concept of the timeline. So we can see it in Facebook nowadays. but this the people who is a user is post current news, and it show up in the timeline users. So we can in this way get some current news. Basically work in that way.
Does that help, Sasha? Do you now want to get a Twitter account?
No, I think
Okay.
it's more useful for celebrities, for people in charge of something, but it has nothing to do with ordinary people like me. What am I supposed to tell?
Well, that's the problem with this article. It's saying that the people like you and me just don't find any value in it.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff that we seem to get through our Twitter account is a whole bunch of companies telling us stuff. But there's no way to filter it out. So let's take a look at some other technology companies that have failed or that are having trouble adapting to the market. Who right now do you think is having trouble adapting to the technology market? Anyone?
Can you repeat the question?
Which companies right now are having trouble adapting to the technology market?
Which company besides Twitter?
Yeah, besides Twitter.
Microsoft, maybe.
Why Microsoft?
But it's a worldwide company, you know. It's one of the biggest. But in the phone market is the third, I think, in operation system. They are trying to improve a lot. Now they are investing, making a lot of invest, trying to recover the market in mobile phones, in cell phones, and smartphones, because Apple and Android are in a good position, and this is the most important market in technology now. The market that are moving more money, but they are. I think they are reacting in a good way. It's not too late for Microsoft in this area, and they are making important uh, buy-ins of companies, and they are making some important deals with telephone companies, trying to afford its operation system. And but they are in a second or a third position. They have to improve a lot.
Okay, thank you. Anybody agree or disagree? Remember, Microsoft is the company that developed or the first to come out with a tablet, right? They came out with a very fancy smartphone way back in the day.
I'm not sure if Microsoft is in the same situation than, for example, Twitter or even Yahoo. Yahoo had problem the past day. I don't know how is Yahoo is nowadays, but Microsoft, as Apple, as Google, have a great team that can always create new situation, create new products, new technology, new brains, new leaders. So they always reinvent themselves. I think that is the key for internet company survives nowadays. Always capable to reinvent themselves.
Capable of reinventing themselves. Very good. Who else? Agree or disagree with Luis or Anton? Saku, you haven't seen your friend Luis in a while. Do you agree with him or disagree?
Yes, I agree with him. I think the key for the technology company to develop in now I think um, they must be creative. They must be create a new technology. Um, for example, um, Facebook company and Google company. For example, in the social media, we know now there are many social media, but I think Google Plus or Facebook is coming to place that people all around the world I think often use.
Okay, good. Sasha, what do you think?
I think Nokia has problems.
But Nokia doesn't exist anymore, do they?
I don't know.
I think Microsoft bought them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Nokia doesn't have problems now. Microsoft does.
because I like Nokia phones very much.
Hey,
My
so you're
first,
that one person.
huh?
You are that one person that still buys Nokia.
Well, they are very, how do I say, reliable phones, and they work long. I used to drop them several times in water or on the floor, and nothing happened.
That's
They
good.
were alive, and I like the quality of connection using Nokia. I didn't know that it does not exist anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
the
Microsoft
battery
bought.
duration. The battery duration is for days.
Yes, the battery duration. Yeah, Nokia is great. Was great. I don't know whether it was or is now.
Well, it's not hard for your battery to last long when your phone's not doing much.
Mm,
Or would you disagree? Is it capable of doing a lot? Defend Nokia for us.
Yes, Nokia was bought in order to implement the operational system of Microsoft to compete with Android and Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and in this way, they are trying to implement also in Microsoft operational system WhatsApp. But WhatsApp is under trouble too. Important trouble because it is a Russian company, Telegram, and another one, I don't know which country is Line, who is working better than WhatsApp, and they are implementing too new orders, new things to do with this kind of program. And Microsoft is showing some troubles because WhatsApp is not working well in Microsoft operational system, Windows system that is implementing in Nokia and tablet systems. This is the way they are trying to recover the position. They are working hard. They are making a good job, but they are in trouble. I think this is the question you ask. Which company is in trouble? I know Microsoft is the highest company in the world probably, and they solved this situation for sure. But now in this field, they are in a second or a third position. They are in trouble because they are accustomed to be the one, and now for years they are the second or the third of the world in this field.
Okay, so let me give you some facts here. Microsoft, in the last 5 years, has lost market share in smartphones and continues to do so to the point where it doesn't have much right now. For Microsoft, it can't get much worse other than to exit the business. So things are not going so well in the smartphone market. We can be honest here, but where is Microsoft doing well, guys? What are some areas where Microsoft is very strong?
software.
What kind of software?
Yes,
Video games,
and
Xbox.
PC, develop PC.
Yeah.
Yes, and the cloud of Microsoft is so powerful. Now is trying to be the most important way you can put your data. Microsoft Cloud is working hard to be the best in this field. In this field, for sure, is one of the best. The all-time advertisement now are bombing us about this important and amazing improvement that Microsoft is making.
Yep, they are bombarding us, that's for sure. So I hear lots of things. Software. What kind of software, guys? Where's the real money coming from?
Office
Yeah.
and Windows.
Yeah, Office and Windows. And what did Apple recently do with their Office suite?
Share some application with.
No, they said it's free.
It's free in Apple.
Yeah, Apple's Office software suite is now free.
Really?
Well, yeah, so if you're running on an iPad or something and you want to download Pages or Keynote, they're free now. That makes it a little tougher for Microsoft, doesn't it? So Microsoft recently, they said, well, tell you what, our applications are free too. However, it'll cost you an annual subscription to our cloud service, which is what Anton was saying. Luis, you said they do well in video games.
Yes, the Xbox video games has increasing your sellings and the number of the users. And there is a technology about the Kinect. It's a device can capture our body movements that Microsoft want to join this technology in PC as well.
Okay, now let me ask you guys a tough question here. What's the last thing that Microsoft invented that people were excited about?
It's not the Kinect.
Really? People got excited about that? I believe it was Windows 95 in 1995 where people stood in line for it. It's been almost 20 years since people got excited about a Microsoft product. Let me ask you this. What's the last thing that people got excited about for Apple?
I think the iOS 9.
Yeah, the latest iOS that hasn't even been out yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apple Watch.
Well, yeah, okay, so a watch, we don't even know if this is going to be out yet, but people are talking about this Apple Watch. Every time that Apple has a presentation, media from the world get excited. The same can't be said for Microsoft. It used to be that when Microsoft was getting ready to release a product, the world took notice.
I guess besides Google Glass, there is no more exciting product to be launching.
Yeah. Do you think that's good or bad that no one gets excited over Microsoft products? And actually, people did get excited about the Xbox when it came out and the Xbox One, right? There was excitement there. Sasha, is Microsoft in trouble because they're not coming out with anything exciting? Is Microsoft relevant?
It's very difficult for me to give comments about it because I'm not tech savvy very much. But I personally don't like Apple. I like Microsoft, and I will use Microsoft Office and Windows. I have been using it. I will use it. I am using it. I think it's very convenient, and I like it very much. So.
Do you have shares in Microsoft?
No.
See, what I'm getting, I'm trying to find out, is there anything exciting about Microsoft right now? If we look at what other products do we not care about? Our TVs. Do we really care what operating system our TV uses?
I think it's different.
Why is it different? Do we care what operating system our computer uses?
Yes, I do care.
Why?
For me, Microsoft is convenient.
So Apple's convenient. They're both computers.
No, it isn't.
Why
Apple is very complicated. I once bought. I also got excited. I also got carried away by their production products, as everybody else did, when they launched iPods. So I bought an iPod by Apple, and I had so much trouble with it.
Well, I'm talking about computers here.
That was very difficult.
See,
and about
let me get back to my point here. So if I sit down and use a computer, I really couldn't care less what the operating system is, as long as I can actually do what I want to do. The computer doesn't hang, freeze, or otherwise cause me headaches. Just works like my TV. I really couldn't care less what the operating system is, except that I can turn it on and change channels. That's all I care.
I don't know. For me, it's complicated. It's completely different, and I don't like it.
All right. So it sounds like we're going to have a bit of a Microsoft versus Apple discussion here. So, Luis, what are your thoughts? Microsoft or Apple, and which one's more complicated?
Look, my computer's father has the new Windows 8.
Yeah.
For me, it's ET. sorry.
Right. So stop by the phone. So let's.
Bill Gates.
Sorry. For me, it's ET computer. I can't use the Windows 8. For me, it's very hard. And since for the last 3 years, I've been using Mac OS. So for me, it's easier to use nowadays.
One vote for Apple. One vote for Microsoft.
A Linux operation system. I'm using now is this Hangout, Ubuntu. It's a Linux operating system. It's very similar with the the Mavericks. So for me, it's easier. I get used to. I don't have problem with this operation system as well. But Windows, I've been using Windows since my entire life, and how many times the Windows frozen the screen in the Windows 95, Windows 98, the early Windows. Oh my! I never needed to this kind of problem anymore.
No, I actually agree with Luis when he says that Windows 8 is inconvenient. I also think so. Windows 8 is not very convenient. I think it's half-baked. But I'm using Microsoft XP, and I like it. And
okay, Sasha.
Oh, it's the best Windows.
You can't say that you like. You can't be on both sides of the fence. You can't say that no, Microsoft is a lot easier to use, but no, I agree. Windows 8 isn't very friendly.
No, there are more. There are some versions of it are better. Some versions of it are worse. It happens. But I stick to Microsoft.
Do you realize that XP is no longer supported?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you realize that XP is more susceptible to viruses and phishing attacks than other operating systems because it's no longer supported?
I don't visit sites with bad content or something, so I think there are less chances of me catching a virus.
Yeah, don't be so sure about that. It's an interesting argument. I know you work for Microsoft, so you have a certain outlook on things here. let's go to Anton. Anton, what do you think? Microsoft or Apple? Which has a more or better operating system or computer?
I don't know, but because I don't understand a lot about technology in the internal functioning. I don't know which is better. But for sure, everybody who proves Apple say this is a more reliable system and more stable of the world, never freeze. But it's for people who can afford the payment of this kind of technology. Uh, you now I am using Windows 8 and it's terrible, terrible. It's the only in the last week that I buy my new PC. I'm trying to find solution where the component, where the configuration is terrible. But I think it's a new thing. We have to improve in the use, and I'm happy of the new options this operational system have
Hmm.
uh, and has but I have to decide. I prefer Windows because it's the most easy to find in any other
All
for
right,
all over the world.
good point. And Saku, your thoughts? Microsoft or Apple?
Actually, I never use Apple operating system, and I don't know the I know it, and I only use Microsoft operating system, and I think it's good for me. But in fact, I think Apple is a big technology company, and I think its products is really good.
Okay. Well, let me tell you a bit of my history with technology. And we're going to do a bit of a walkabout here. I just got to turn my Wi-Fi back on or I'll lose my connection. In 1995 is when I had Windows. So I used Amigas and Commodores. So I switched to Windows 95 and I had problems. Things would freeze or crash. I'd be working on something and I'd lose my work. It was very frustrating. So I think it was 19 or 2007, and Vista came out. Now I needed a new computer. Yeah, I'm going to get mobile. On a Mac right now, I just switched from a network connection. I pulled it out, and my Mac automatically went to wireless, and I didn't lose my connection here, as you can tell. So simple. No error messages came up saying, "Oh no, you've lost your connection. What do you want to do?" The Mac just realized, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm in a Hangout. Maybe he wants me to use this other network connection." So here I have a computer, and you'll see that, oddly enough, this doesn't look like a Mac. And just wait for the screen to come on. Look at this. It's Windows. This is where I keep all my class materials. This is a server. And I use it to do all my work. But my desktop is a Mac. So back to 2007, I needed a new computer. My other one was too old, and I read about Windows Vista. Now, people are always saying bad things about Microsoft OSs when they come out. So I did a lot of reading. I wanted to make sure. And it was weird. It was one of the first OSs I'd ever gotten reviews of where every review was bad for corporations, for retail. And I remember talking to a guy at work, and I said, "You know, I'm not going to buy Vista." He says, "What are you going to do, buy a Mac?" And I thought, yeah, maybe I will. Now, at the time, I was a little concerned. Crap. How can I use a Mac? Will my stuff work on it? Well, it was 2007, and, well, my music, it doesn't care what operating system. Any operating system can play MP3s or WAV files. All right, I thought, well, what about video, AVIs? Oh, well, the Macs are pretty good at AVIs, so's Windows. There's no big deal there. What about all my Office documents? Oh, there's Office for Mac. Okay, so I'll be good there. Oh, there's the internet. Oh, I can use the internet on the Mac. I can run Firefox or Chrome on the Mac. So I went looking in a store. Oh my God, they were expensive in Canada. $2,000 for a computer. But I needed something, and I didn't want to buy Vista, so I bought a Mac. And something strange happened. When I started using the Mac, it just worked. When I sat down to do something, it just worked. I didn't have problems. Things didn't crash. I didn't lose information. It just became a lot more relaxing to use a computer. Using a computer became fun again. I didn't have driver issues. Every time I tried to do something, I didn't get an error message pop up saying, "Are you sure?" On a Mac, if you delete something, it doesn't ask, "Are you sure?" It deletes it. But don't worry, not all is lost. It puts it into a recycle bin so you can go get it if you need to. You don't need to be asked every time, "Are you sure?" Or, "Are you really sure?" So I've stuck with Apple since then. Now, these Apple devices have gotten a lot cheaper in time. You can now buy an Apple computer for under $1,000 in Canada. And I agree, Windows 8 seems a little confusing. I like where they were being creative. Microsoft was really creative with Windows 8. But then, unfortunately, I think a committee came in and kind of buggered it up. Who knows? Windows 9, I think, might be much better. But you see, I've been using Macs for a while that I have no reason to go back to Windows unless, of course, Apple starts screwing them up. So those are my thoughts. Sasha, am I nuts? Do I have a hole in my head, or does that make sense? I know, you think I have a hole in my head.
No!
I do, actually. One,
Maybe.
two,
No.
three.
I just think that, first of all, people are different and people may have different opinions. Then people have different jobs, and maybe somebody's jobs involves having a stable connection, doing a lot of stuff online, keeping lots of data and something. And maybe Apple is somehow better for them in these ways. I don't know.
Well, Sasha, would you happen
For
to
me,
believe...
Microsoft is enough, is good. And by the way, I do agree with Ahmad, who says that Microsoft is a lot cheaper than Apple, because Apple costs incredible amounts of money in Russia. It's very, very, very expensive.
It might be, but here in Canada, Apple is cheaper because you buy a computer, and most of us hold a computer for as long as we can. Well, with Apple, you don't have to pay anything for new operating system updates. They're free. Your Office software is free. So once you buy your computer with Apple, you get video editing software free, you get music software free, you get movie software free, you get Office software free, you get operating system updates free. So if you look at the cost of owning it, it actually ends up in North America being cheaper to buy a Mac than Windows. But to give you an idea, I'm not just some guy who doesn't know much about computers. I was actually certified as a Microsoft certified systems engineer and certified professional. I actually worked in an investment bank as a systems administrator. So I've had a lot of experience with them, and I think Microsoft is actually changing the way they look at their operating systems. Unfortunately, Microsoft is very siloed. They're very siloed, and unfortunately that doesn't make for a better product. And I hope with the changing leadership they're going to change that. We've already seen Microsoft make a change by saying, hey, you know what, let's just release Office for the iPad. After all, Microsoft is a software company. But I don't know where the time has gone. Guys, it's 11 o'clock, class is over. I've got to go take care of my little son, but thank you so much for dropping by, and I hope to see you guys back on Monday. It's a pleasure having all of you here for today's class.
Okay, Sam. Thank you.
Thanks, teacher.
Thank
Thank
you.
Bye.
you.